Who played the fewest minutes for the Ottawa Senators defense in yesterday's game?
It had to be Chabot. He left hurt, right?
Yes. Now, is there a concern with Thomas Chabot being out of the lineup? So he played 15:59, which was the fewest minutes of any on D.
Yeah. Is there a concern with him? Absolutely. If he's out of the lineup, they're not as good as a team. As much as it probably pains people to hear this because people are all over him right now. The Senators D is not as good if Thomas Chabot is not in the lineup. Period. Not the only guy making mistakes back there. I'm not going to defend his play. I don't think he's played well lately. I think he's not playing like the way he can. Him, like most of the team right now, just trying to do too much, making some bad decisions, especially defensively. Has to be more of a shooting threat on the power play. He's to me, he's distributing too much. And the one thing I will say about the power play, you're going to have your ebbs and flows. You're going to have your ups and downs. I was really surprised they took DeBrincat off that first unit. He just really calms things down. I know they had the shorty they gave up, but to change things like that right away. I know the coaching staff trying to look for answers, trying to do things, but I don't know if I would have taken DeBrincat off that first unit. To me, that was a little bit puzzling.
Yeah, I would agree with that, and I guess we can touch on the power play a little bit, but I was going to say the same thing about Chabby. I don't think he's been great. I think he would probably be the first to admit it, but if he goes down, my goodness, the amount of stress you're putting on Sanderson as a rookie. Chychrun played 25 minutes last night in a 5-1 loss. That's the kind of game where it's 4-1 and you want to start to move those guys towards the bench. Not out of any other reason than longevity for them for the stretch run here that you're going to try to get yourselves back in. But now, you're going to put 24 minutes on him, 20 minutes on Sanderson, and you got to elevate other guys throughout the lineup. And you're not eating 10 minutes, you're eating 24 minutes most nights from Chabby, right? You got to find a way to put those on other guys, and they just don't have. Thank God they have Chychrun and the and the ability to do that, but that just puts way too much stress on those guys. So you can say what you want about Chabby and the way that he's played lately, but he just eats minutes and he gives you good minutes most of the time. And I was, the one thing I was going to say is he's got to waste a few shots from the point on the power play just to keep other teams honest, because right now it looks stagnant. He moves to the middle of the ice well, but when you don't have the threat to shoot and they know that puck's just going to go right back to the half wall, it really closes down a lot of options. So he's got to waste a few towards the net for me. I would really like to see that, just to keep guys honest and in the middle of the ice so the lanes open up and the rest of the plays open up. But yeah, the topic of conversation is if he's down, that team changes dramatically on that back end.
I was watching him pretty closely on some of those goals, and he's doing what the forwards are doing. Is cheating. And the way that D cheat is when the puck's moved up the ice, the offside D joins the rush. And he got burned last night at it. I'm trying to remember. It was Pinto. Pinto had the puck right at the blue line, and he didn't get it deep. Yeah. Chabot was on the far side of the screen, and it already joined the rush. And I was watching. I'm like, why are you joining the rush right now? You're so far. Like, he was way over on the far side of the ice. So Pinto was on the one side of the blue line, and Chabot was on the other side of the blue line. So you've left the whole middle of the ice open. So if there's a turnover, you're done. And sure enough, the puck got turned over. The mistake was Pinto's. He turned it over, didn't get it deep. Right away, Calgary's coming the other way, and Chabot is out of position. So it's gambling. And again, you're gambling because you're chasing the game and you're down. And then it turns into more. Then all of a sudden, whatever it was, 3-1 becomes 4-1 or whatever the score was. But to me, it's just making better decisions. The defense, they have to pick better times on when they're going to gamble. Chychrun did it too. He jumped up, a little bit unlucky, right at the offensive blue line. Puck got poked by him. Another 2-on-1. The amount of 2-on-1s this defense has given up in the last two games is you can't win in the NHL that way. But Bobby made the point earlier. The reason they're doing it is because they're chasing the game. And they're chasing it, and then the snowball's turning into like a massive boulder, and they're getting crushed.